Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. It has been an intense year on so many levels, and there's actually been unusual monthly topics that have been bringing a lightworker focus more into embodiment of our divine creative birthright. And that is actually getting rather literal this month. We've spent the past months since May, mostly after that eclipse series, before this new one, with a focus on preparation that is culminating this month. And it's leading us into interesting energies for the rest of the year. So I'm going to talk about this month and what it's leading into. And just to let you know, it is very connected to Egypt. And I'll actually be doing the October energies video before I leave for Egypt. And then after that, you'll want to be on my newsletter and follow me on Instagram for updates while I'm in Egypt. And I'll put a description in the link below for both of those. By the way, my book, Opening to Light Language, is coming out soon on Audible. I am so excited about this. It sounds so great. So I'm going to put a link below for that when that's available. So check back for that soon. I will be speaking at the Sedona Transcendence Retreat, September 19th through 21st, with some other great teachers like Lisa Royal Holt and Matt Kahn. And a discount is available for that until September 1st. And I am really excited to be channeling Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time, this January at the channel panel that Rob Gautier is creating. Daryl Anka will be there channeling Bashar, Lisa Royal Holt, Wendy Kennedy, and more. That is here in January, the 3rd through the 5th. And that one is also available on live stream. And that's going to be an amazing way to start your new year in 2025. So visit my website, jamieprice.com, for information about all of those upcoming events. Now, let's talk about the September energies. First, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th, just before the equinox. And all eclipses are powerful reset points, but Ariane has been pointing out this time for quite a while. And it's even why the Egypt trip is happening at this time. I'm actually going to talk more about the eclipse in the card reading video because I just pulled those cards and they are deeply tied into the eclipse energy. So look for that video soon. September energies are preparing the body. And when I originally got the topic, I also wrote, because I channel all of this, I wrote Egypt and Akhenaten next to it. And I didn't know what that meant. And this was many months before John Burgos and I ever felt like September was when we were going to Egypt. But it's an important energy that we're going through right now. So first, I want to talk about preparing the body. Then I'm going to discuss the Egypt connection, which is deep. And of course, it's connected to everyone. It is not just connected to our trip. Preparing the body is what has been occurring deeply since the last eclipse series, even though, of course, all of this is a constant because we're in constant change. It didn't just begin then and it won't end this month. But what has been amplified is the tri-wave brain flow. And this is the integration of the fuller flow that gives us access beyond duality into polarity integration, which is what our ascension is all about. It's moving us into the tri-wave flow of our beingness that brings duality into a greater connection. And it's why we focused on connection last year to prepare for the wholeness opportunities of this year. The body is being physically prepared for changes in the energetic body. And what this is doing for us is amplifying the spherical access. And what I was shown for this is finally making more sense as the pieces come together. So I'll detail what I mean by the spherical access. Arion, the Lyran Council of Time, began saying that we're integrating a tri-wave brain flow about 2 years ago. And this integrates us beyond just the right-left connection dominance, adding a greater subconscious to conscious connection. This is our healing work that we've been doing for many decades. And those of you that have been consistently watching my videos, you know that I was drawn to the Keys of Enoch during the last eclipse series because I heard the return of the dove. And that was key 105. It's very informative. Please go back and watch the video I did about that and actually read the activating poem because both are very powerful. I'll put a link below. I am now getting more clarity as we move into this next eclipse series. Recently, I was just randomly drawn to key 205. And it is actually filling in some details about the Egypt connection and, more importantly, this tri-wave brain flow that Arion has been talking about. When we have right-left brain hemisphere connection, we're able to tap into higher consciousness flow and channel, communicate on broader levels, create from a broader connection. Yet it's more momentary in a collective sense and less constant. The Keys of Enoch in Key 205 refers to a bipyramidal flow, which the connection that I was shown is that ultimately helps teach us about the spiraling flow and the Merkaba. But they also talk about what is called the tripyramidal flow in that Keys of Enoch, and it refers to a more broad and consistent multidimensional connection. And I was shown this as it's connected to the tri-wave brain flow that Arion is talking about. What that does is it creates a container or a connection that's more sustainable, it's more consistent, creating a greater spherical access or completion of the Merkaba container. And this gives us greater coherence. It enhances our capability to connect into our natural multidimensionality and to be able to sustain that. And on a practical level, because obviously that's what really matters, this creates more capability to connect with the higher self, to communicate with higher intelligence, to amplify our intention, to become more aware of connection, bring universal law into this experience of separation, to become a natural creative force rather than mainly reacting to what's going on around us. And I have actually spoken before about how creative and reactive are only different, the words, by where the letter C is placed. When the C is at the beginning rather than in the middle, so when it's at the beginning in a creative state, that's the difference between creative foresight, imagination, contemplation, beginning an experience, rather than that starting in the middle of it, like a reaction. Now, of course, I'm parsing words because reaction is not just a bad thing, but when you can respond within your creative flow, you are utilizing your creative capability more. You're not just creating by default or living by default. This is your divine birthright. You are a creative being. And again, Watching the upcoming card video that's coming out soon is going to bring this into more clarity. Really interesting cards that are taking us through this eclipse season, the equinox season. But I want to talk a little about Egypt and Akhenaten. Egypt holds so many keys for us. And of course, there are powerful sites all over the world, but Egypt holds some of the clearest reminders of the positives and the negatives that we've been through. It's directly connected to Atlantis. After the fall of Atlantis, many of the Atlanteans moved to Egypt. When we see the clarity of those huge stones and pyramids and temples that are aligned with astronomical markers, we know that great capability was lost, history was lost, wisdom was lost. And we are here to regain or to remember the body of humanity, like that ancient story of Isis and Osiris represents for us. We're here to heal the manipulation, the fear, the domination that has marked our lives of recent times. We are preparing the body to further reignite the human soul, to activate the human DNA more fully, and enhance the divine human experience. And it's not just a singular event, it's natural to us because it's natural law. Life is fail-safe to love, always returns to love. That's what the tri-wave flow is about, returning us to greater coherence and access to the universal love, the unconditional love that's core to life. Enhancing that connection with higher density. That's what our ascension journey is all about. So our physical container holds more consistently with these energetic changes. Akhenaten, I'm going to overview this, not commenting on who he was as a person, but broadly, he was known as a heretic, at least partly because flipping the truth into a lie is canon now. But what he was known as a heretic for mainly was turning back to unity and oneness with God, with life, with the universal flow, rather than intermediaries controlling through manipulation, power, and greed. His name means the living spirit of the sun, but Aten, which is associated with the sun, is really more aptly associated with the circle or unity, connection, the law of one. That's what this time is about. More unity consciousness, more conscious interaction with the subtle realm of connection, and the physical body is readjusting to support this. That's our focus this month, preparing the body. Care for the physical body, proper food, water, rest, exercise, peaceful moments, meditation, getting out in nature. I know there will be busyness and chaos on the world stage, maybe even in your own experience, but throughout that, hold new potentials. Be them. Even if it's sporadic, it's becoming more consistent. We are preparing the body to hold these new potentials, to connect more with the subtle more consistently. And this opens the mind into the infinite mind. But to do that from the physical body means the density isn't holding you back. Your heart is elevating your mind into the infinite because that heart-mind complex is coherent. The intention this month is I am preparing my body for wholeness. I am preparing my body for wholeness. This links the subtle and the physical self, the human, the higher self, the masculine, feminine, energetic that's within each of us, the inner and the outer, the full flow of creation. I am preparing my body for wholeness. Most importantly, listen as you repeat this. Listen for the clues of changes that are specific to you. Those answers might be immediate, come in a dream or from someone else, but listen to the clues of your wholeness as all of us are preparing the body through energetic changes for greater, more consistent, multidimensional connection. That is our true nature. And that is what we are remembering. That is what we are preparing the body for. I hope you have a powerful September and enjoy the crystalline soul healing and light language. Mnem hakia rit aru hua. Mnom hakrieret ansacharut. Mne haruko koret im. Mna nen such u tu koret iktieret gam. Prem hanu orum sacharut ot. Kren hatirut sum. Mnem okoret aktieret hen nik such Kroret haktir me Mnor akar akaim derut Hamno ha tu kuret ektur mem suchur. Chan do kuret angreat grel hranum at such nem ho kuret ektiret aneh nad sancharuk ukwam da. Suma ki harut kuam. Hum ner da nema Hurem hako kuar mat num hakiretet. Hurem hak kand ondo mnem hakor akral nundut utsu dau harni net Am kor hako korndet janur nen. Brum ha nin ger Nor hem nja nen urma ni iki kor hokorum no